I thought finance provides such a diverse role, and it has such a good opportunity towards the end of the day. And that point, in that moment, I chose to go with finance. Otherwise, मैं अभी भी अगर CS नहीं क्लियर करता होता तो मैं लिस्टेड कंपनी में कुछ मिनट्स बनाता होता होगा और कुछ कंप्लायंस देखता होता.
So 4 different type of companies, almost, right? Now, if for the audience, if you can tell that when you mentioned that you started as a senior accountant and you moved to finance controller. So what is the difference between the role of an accounts person and a finance controller? So now in the current role, you are looking at entirely FP&A division.
Right.
So I'll come to that discussion,
Yeah.
what exactly it is.
Definitely.
Now, just taking a step back, before starting the discussion, you mentioned that for the CA course, you reached till inter and you did not pursue it further.
Right.
And the same happened for CS.
Right.
Now, for the audience, like when you stopped both of these courses, because these are two golden courses that you see in finance, what was your thought process?
Right.
Or what was your view that how my career will go?
Right.
Because now you're heading a finance team.
Definitely.
Likewise.
Right.
Now, if somebody wants to make a career in finance, what, as per you, is the top 3 skills that he needs to have? Hello guys, I hope everybody is doing good. Hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career. And I also help students who are preparing for competitive exams like CFA, FRM, and SCR. And as a part of that journey, we also talk to people from the industry. They explain us what is happening in the industry and what has been their experience. So today I'm with Venkatesh, and Venkatesh, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. For the audience, if you can give a brief in terms of your journey in finance.
So firstly, Ganesh, thank you for having me here. It's a great honor to be speaking with you. So I'm currently working in Retaking as a FP&A manager in core FP&A field.
Okay.
But talking about my journey, I started as a CA aspirant like all of them in a CA articleship firm.
Okay.
Working there for approximately 3 years or so. I entered into corporate world. And in a matter of 6 years, I rose from the rank of senior accountant to a finance controller there.
Okay.
Yeah, and after that, I switched company to Rico. There I was finance head for a year or so.
Okay.
And after which I got into market research industry through Nailbiter. And currently I am working in Retaking.
Okay. So 4 different type of companies, almost, right? Now, if for the audience, if you can tell that when you mentioned that you started as a senior accountant and you moved to finance controller. So what is the difference between the role of an accounts person and a finance controller?
So, see, basically, Ganesh, I would like to tell you the difference between, these entry-level roles as compared to, senior managerial position roles.
Okay.
So, I believe there are different parameters which we can check to provide a basic difference between these two particular positions. These parameters could be based on, let's say, responsibilities, let's say your skills, let's say your decision-making authority.
Right.
Talking about responsibilities, a person in a junior role, he has to work in limited guidelines and restriction.
Right.
In a rigid environment, and it's more of a supportive role towards this manager or any person he's supporting. His decision-making authority is also quite limited. He's expected to perform his operational duties like providing basic reports and certain requirements as required as manager. While talking about the same from a managerial position and from a finance head person point of view, he is the major decision influencer. He uses the data and the reports which is provided to him by his juniors.
Okay.
And he checks whether these are aligning with the company's goals and objectives or not.
Okay.
The decision-making power also, he has quite a lot as he is influencing the company decision in investments and further financial strategies.
Okay.
So in that sense, there is quite a difference between roles perspective from both entry-level job and person a finance controller.
Okay.
Talking about another parameter could be the work environment. A person in entry-level job, accountant or a junior manager or so, they work in an environment which is quite again, routine based or such. It's not that dynamic. They do not have access to higher level of management or people in higher executive roles. But a person at a higher level, he has to collaborate with various departments. He has to daily speak with people at executive positions, the management directors also. So those kind of difference in roles and working atmosphere, I feel is there between this particular two roles.
And from that company, you move to a role which is finance head, right? The next
Yeah.
company, second company.
Yeah.
So, what exactly a finance head would do, or what is the authority
Yeah.
that he has?
So I believe a finance head works in particular. His role is defined in three aspects.
Okay.
First and major is towards his responsibilities towards the auditor. He does it through his monitoring of accounting and bookkeeping. Secondly, his duties towards the government or public authorities. He does
Compliance.
that by compliance and statutory, requirements. What is required for, he
Right.
overlooks that. And thirdly, and most importantly, also, it's towards the management of the company, towards the stakeholders of the company, by compiling those MIS and financial reporting requirements.
Okay. Okay.
So in those three aspects, his role can be defined.
Okay.
So as he has to overlook the entire financial aspects of the company or the organization. So that is how it is for a finance head also.
And generally, you have a treasury team also who looks after the liquidity. So, does it also falls under the head of finance, or is it a different team?
So see, it depends upon company to company. Many companies don't have, such treasury
Separate
team departments also. Even especially in our Indian companies and Indian this thing, people at a higher position or directors who don't have much knowledge about finance. They just believe each and everything is related to finance is compiled in one particular department only. Even the people who are doing, I have seen people who are even doing the roles of treasury management, cash management, compliance management. They don't even see themselves they're doing such a niche role. They just think they are simply as working in finance doing this particular diverse task also. But you see these particular departments when a company gains a particular large size, or even a smaller company, a smaller MNC, I would say, which do have knowledge and awareness about these roles. They have different departments as such, compliance department or statutory departments or FP&A department, whatsoever matter, like that.
So, like you mentioned, three parts, three aspects, right?
Yeah.
First was the auditor's part,
Yeah.
which is basically making sure that all the books are clean and it is clear.
You get the audit report with nil remarks. Is your objective.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Then the second you mentioned about the
statutory compliances. Yeah.
So over here you connect with the auditors, internal auditor and external auditors, and make sure that audits are happening properly, or there are checks and balances in the entire finance team. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one is FP&A.
Right.
Kind of, because you are reporting it.
Financial reporting, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Which, see, we as a finance head, depending on organization, you need to understand what is required from you from the upper management point of view.
Right.
They can also see the numbers and figures right then and there, but what does it mean? What is the story behind it? How can you achieve a greater outcome?
Right.
Various analysis to be done. How do you achieve that particular benefit? So those kinds of things expected from you from the management.
Okay. Okay.
So there where you come in, and for that you need to have various skill or financial acumen, I would say, in terms of financial modeling, in terms of understanding your company's end goals and needs.
Right.
So that you can provide the best analysis of where we can achieve. You can accurately predict the financial future of the company.
Okay.
So that is what your role comes from the management point of view.
So now in the current role, you are looking at entirely FP&A division.
Right.
So I'll come to that discussion, what exactly it is.
Definitely.
Now, just taking a step back, before starting the discussion, you mentioned that for the CA course, you reached till inter and you did not pursue it further.
Right.
And the same happened for CS.
Right.
Now, for the audience, like, when you stopped both of these courses, because these are two golden courses that you see in finance, what was your thought process,
Right.
or what was your view that how my career will go?
Right.
Because now you're heading a finance team.
Definitely.
Likewise.
Right. So let me tell you, let me go a bit more back when I decided that I want to become a CA.
Huh.
So I would tell you, the decision came to me when I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
Now you can imagine, I mean, a kid, not even a person who knows not much anything at least about finance or commerce, is wanting to decide that he wants to become a chartered accountant.
Right.
So where did that knowledge come from? The knowledge came from, the idea came from one particular relative or person telling him, ki, you know, this is the greatest course in commerce, you should do it. And a kid wanted to become greatest in what he does. So वो कैसे वो idea mind में छप गया कि यही करना है.
Okay.
I don't want to do any research about it. I don't want to check any books about it. I just want to do a chartered accountancy.
Okay.
I don't know any competition where it's had. Getting back to, I believe, when I entered commerce in my 11th grade, I believe on the first day, our accounts teacher, he came in the classroom and he asked, I was in Singhania, by the way, in my this thing, junior college, yeah.
Okay.
So there we had approximately in my class 40 to 45 students we had, and the teacher came and asked ki, how many of you students want to become chartered accountants. Like I raised my hand immediately. I mean, I was quite surprised. He knows about chartered accountancy. I don't know. And to my surprise, about at least 80% of the students, they raised their hands.
Oh.
Then I understood the competition this particular course has,
Right.
and how many of the students, know anything about it. What is it actually?
Okay.
Because see, I believe we are not even taught finance even in commerce. It is in 11th, 12th also.
Yes,
we have
yes.
accounts and we have economics and such subjects we have, even English or maths. Maths is the science maths, not accounts and stuff.
Right.
But so that point of time I realized what is a competition belief. And even in my graduation days, approximately when I was a BCom student, I would say approximately 70% of the students, they were into CA course. So see, the difference between, I believe, these professional courses, CA, CS and ICWA, and from commerce and from science, the basic difference is it's easier to get into these courses, but it's very difficult to get out.
Yes.
While in science, the thing is quite opposite. It's very easier to get, difficult to get into it.
Yes.
Getting the entrance exam, IIT, NET, it's very difficult to get into it,
Once you're
but
in,
easier to get out. Yeah.
Yes.
So see, these professional courses, Ganesh, especially CA, you need to be very much sure. आप सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट, पेशेंस, होप की आपके पास कमी बिल्कुल नहीं होनी चाहिए when you are deciding that you want to get into it.
Okay.
Because you will see yourself get beaten up many times. And CA तो मैं बोलता हूँ कि आपका पूरे विल पावर के ऊपर है. I have seen people with 90%, even 12th में 90% people, they are not able to get out first attempt, second attempt, third attempt. And there are people who have not gotten good grades, but एक दो attempt में they were able to clear. So it's not just about being smart, it's about having that resilience, that I want to, having that passion, having that interest, that I want to do this thing.
Right.
But Ganesh, is one more important thing कि these courses, now talking all these three particular TDFs जो है हमारे commerce के, CS, CA and ICWA, these courses take up the most crucial
Aspect
time of your life. Your early 20s, जहाँ पे आपका career बनता है, बिगड़ता है, even goes on to your late 20s. So see, I'm not saying that you give up or but you need to have a longer vision of your life. It's not that this course will give you everything and provide everything for your lifestyle, but you keep on giving these exams, and you neglect the years it is going on and passing by yours. So a time comes when you have to make a decision.
Okay.
That see, I have a friend I know who gave like 12th attempt till CA.
Okay.
He gave up on his 12th attempt. He got an exemption for a subject 4 to 5 years back, and वो exemption भी फिर miss हो गया बाद में. Because 3 attempts, I believe, you have till the exemption is active, and after, if you're not able to clear it, that exemption also gone.
Okay.
So we were trying to convince him also ki, like, the time has come, you need to focus, you do some other course, you do some masters, start a
Right.
corporate job.
Right.
See, the important thing is that with these courses, you give it your full time up to a certain age limit, and after that, no one's telling not give the exams also, but आप साइड में साइड आपके आपका जॉब स्टार्ट कर दो, आप कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ स्टार्ट कर दो आपकी.
Right.
So that would obviously help, but don't, to completely stop your career for these particular courses. That's very important. क्योंकि आप, no one is like, आप इंटर सीए हो, okay fine, you are qualified, आप इंटर सीए so you're qualified for this. You need to complete these courses if you want to be qualified for these courses also.
Okay.
So unfortunately, even in my case, at a particular time came that I had to make this hard decision that, and I could see there are some other ways. I realized that I can excel in my life, I can achieve success in my life apart from these courses. It's not, completely end of life or so. So that point came and I decided I will, I want to pursue finance. But even if I'm not become a CA, I believe I can, achieve a certain level of, excellence in this particular area.
Okay.
So
So
that
you
is
did
it.
masters and then you pursued your career.
Yeah. So I did my masters also while I was, working as, I believe I was at a junior manager role in one of my first companies. When I decided after giving certain, my last attempt or so, I decided that, enough is enough. I'm definite that I'm going to excel in this particular career even without this particular degree. And I did a master's and I went on with my life, with my career also.
Okay. Okay. What has been the challenging moment or the changing moment for you in the
Yeah.
entire career?
So there was a time in my life, I will tell you. One of the most changing moment in my life was when I was doing CS also. I was doing company secretary also, and after I started my CA. I started when I already cleared inter first group of CA, and then I cleared both the CS group in just a single attempt.
Okay.
Yeah, CS, and I had a good inclinations towards corporate law. CS is completely about corporate law,
Right.
and I was interested in that particular field. I completed my CS, and then I thought, why not maybe just towards the end of my CA articleship, and I went looking for a job, and I thought maybe let me start with inter CS this thing. And unfortunately, during that point of time, being a son of a single mother, I had quite some financial hurdles, and I did my dues of working for a stipend. I wanted a good compensation, and I thought I will get it in a particular CS field also. In listed companies, I applied, I got in also. But let me tell you, the packages for inter CS that point of time was very low, like around 15 maximum, not even 20. I'm talking 15,000 per month or so. There's a stipend I was getting for an inter this thing. And the same point of time, I was getting good breaks in finance field as a senior accountant for 25 to 30,000 per month. And I realized the results of CS finals were getting tougher and tougher, and the market was getting very, damp.
Okay.
The packages were not that quite high. I mean, there was CS working in CS firms having packages of 20 to 25,000 in the beginning salary also.
Okay.
Yeah, and that point of time, I had this thing clear objective that degree is good, degree is fine. It's an insurance, that's good, but I want to earn handsomely, as practical as that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Practical decision.
And I thought finance provides such a diverse role, and it has such a good opportunity to the end of the day. And that point, in that moment, I chose to go with finance.
Okay.
अदरवाइज मैं अभी भी अगर सीएस नहीं क्लियर करता होता तो मैं लिस्टेड कंपनी में कुछ मिनट्स बनाता होता होगा और कुछ कंप्लायंस देखता होता.
Okay. तो आपका वो इंटरेस्ट थोड़ा चेंज हो गया आफ्टर यू रियलाइज कि फाइनेंशियल कंपोनेंट उतना अच्छा नहीं बन पा रहा है वहाँ पे.
राइट, फिनेंस फील्ड में बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज आई रियलाइज्ड, एंड मैंने जब सीएस मार्केट नोटिस किया, so that I made my decision कि it's better to, because that point of time accounts में मुझे इंटरेस्ट नहीं था ज़्यादा, and understand मुझे अभी भी अकाउंट्स में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. So people are shocked, and you are working in finance, you're in finance, and you have no interest in accounts. No, I don't have interest in accounts. I know accounts. I understand accounts, but I have interest in finance management, which is much more different than accounts.
Slightly different.
Yeah.
So जैसे FP&A का काम है,
Yeah,
reporting का.
right. You need to have
Okay.
knowledge, obviously, but it's another niche role. So yeah, basically to answer your question, that was one of the most turning point of my life when I decided to go with finance at the end of the day.
Okay. And when you work as a senior manager finance, okay, what does a general day look like? What all things you actually do?
See, I can obviously talk about my precise day, but for every other senior managerial positions, it depends on their particular department, what their KRAs are, what work they are doing, what tasks do they have. So it differs from people to people. But talking about in my case also, there's at this particular position, I'm in a senior position, there is not much of a rigid routine or but you need to prioritize your task. But basically, I can tell you certain standard things which I do. So, firstly, obviously, my day starts with clearing all my mails. Most of my work goes on in the mails also. How that is, there would be certain sales codes I have to approve before they send it to the customers or clients.
Right.
There would be certain small report requirements. There would be certain queries which people from different department would have. So such kind of mails I clear. Yeah, I would open up the ERP dashboards.
Right.
I would my financial dashboards. I would check what has been the change in my revenue or expenses or cash flow as compared to what it was previously. Now what I do is these ERP systems, they just provide you a particular summary and you can just download the raw data. I do that. I put that in the financial models I have for me in Excel.
Okay.
And it provides me a detailed analysis of what this particular trends have been. Has there been any financial anomalies in the same?
Okay.
What does this particular numbers or figures tell? And then I have to present it to the upper management. I have to collaborate with different departments also, provide them a particular budget, see the budget is aligning with the company's objectives and goals. So such things are there.
Okay.
And you do have some ad hoc projects coming here and there. You have to calculate some return on investment, or you have to do some cost benefit analysis is there, some investment analysis is there. So certain ad hoc projects keep on going on.
Now, if somebody wants to make a career in finance, what, as per you, is the top 3 skills that he needs to have?
So, see, talking about skills you require in finance, first and foremost, I would say is your knowledge about financial statements. You need to be able to read the statements. You need to be able to analyze the statements what they have. You need to be able to understand what ratios is applicable to that particular industry and what you can take it up from that financial statement. I would say there is one particular this thing channel. He's a I don't remember his name. He's an IIT professor. His channel name is Financial Statement Analysis, as simple as that. And he provides a very good and well versed in layman terms. He makes us understand the financial statements, basically balance sheet, P&L, and cash flow. So one can check that out. So that is first. Secondly, basic skill you need to have is your business accounting skill. See, theoretical accounts we learn. We learn in school, we learn in colleges, but जो practical accounting knowledge होती है, you can learn by 2 ways. Either you can, through exposure to practical work, or there would be certain practical accounting courses you can have. Odin School provides good courses for business accounting knowledge, so that you can have. Third particular skill, I would say you need to have how to value business. Valuation methodologies. You use your discounted cash flow methods, NPV methods, IRR methods, leverage buyouts. So you need to have that particular skill. Then how can you value a particular business or a particular asset also?
Right.
You calculate your return on investment. So those are the 3, I would say, basic skills you require to excel in finance. Apart from that, you do need to have certain advanced skills. If you can have data analytics, financial analytics are some of the generic
Which
skills.
is now the trend.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing it.
Yeah. Knowledge about financial markets, stock, bonds, and all such things. So that is also gaining a bit traction for me in past years or so.
Right.
So it's it doesn't harm one to have this particular skills also.
Right.
I believe for financial markets, NIS and NISM and
Yeah, there are certifications for
yeah,
this.
certification. It provides you the best certifications in securities market also.
Right.
You can try that. But let me tell you something. Certifications are just a supplementary to your career. I mean, you
Yes.
need to have your professional degree or your master's degree to excel in your field.
Right. And when you have been taking a lot of interviews, right, for people
Mhm.
who are going to be joining your team.
Right.
So, what basic qualities you look for when somebody comes for an interview, or what are the common questions that you ask them? If you can share.
So Ganesh, see, taking an interview also skill. Taking an interview also a skill, and what I have observed when many people have observed, I won't take names, but many people who have taken my interviews, I used to think, I mean, they like the basic skills. I mean, generic questions. I mean, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are 5 strengths or weaknesses? And अभी तो बहुत सारे ऐसे tips or tricks है how to answer this particular question. Even
Right.
if you're not generic, people just say these things and impress someone else. But you need to first understand that when you're interviewing someone, what do you require and how can you get that particular knowledge from that person in a matter of what 15 to 30 minutes or so. So technical proficiency is very important. His analytical skills needs to be checked.
Okay.
Oh, and let me tell you one thing. In our Indian organization, corporate fit is a very important check you need to do.
Cultural fit.
Cultural fit, yeah. Whether he is going to this thing, because a person he can be quite very smart or hardworking, you can see, but if he's not able to work with you for more than a year or so, so then you have failed to judge him that whether he's going. And everyone wants someone for a long term perspective, for a stability perspective also.
Right.
So cultural fit is a very important acumen I would look for. And is the I would simply as a software what you're working at, whether he's well versed with that particular software, his academic knowledge also, that would come last, but still, I mean,
At least whatever he has done till now,
right,
has he understood what he's doing?
right, has imagined the
Great.
potential.
Now, many like you talked about your setback that you talked about from the CA exam. Now, a lot of students they give exams like CFA, FRM, and all of that, and they feel that they get that setbacks.
Right.
So, what is your feedback to them, or what is your suggestion to them?
So, see, I will be very practical about what one students face during this particular setbacks. There are, I would say, see, there are two types of students in this particular professional courses. One particular set of students are the beginner students who have started to experience these setbacks, and they are actually, I feel, much more pressurized because they have with them their peers and colleagues who are running past them, and they feel much more disheartened. And वो कहते हैं ना कि फेल हो गया तो बुरा लगता है, बट दोस्त पास हो जाए तो और बुरा लगता है. So there is a very practical rejection. I mean, your family, your relatives, I mean, they also act quite shocked about the failure. I mean, इतने अच्छे 10 में मार्क्स आए थे, इतने अच्छे 12 में मार्क्स आए थे, फेल कैसे हो गया, right? So those kind of students, I mean, need to understand that कि आप आगे जाके, I mean, you are going to look back it and it would be just a minor setback for you. Right. I mean, these things your person with you has cleared, passed on. Because see, at the end of the day, आप अगर CA बन जाओ, CS बन जाओ, और वो 5 साल पहले ही बन चुका है, वो दोनों भी सेम माउंटेन पे ही खड़े होंगे. Right. They both will be at the same level only. Right. आप ऐसा नहीं होता है कि आप आपने 6 अटेम्प्ट लगाए हैं, आपने 2 अटेम्प्ट लगाए. बोथ ऑफ देम एट द एंड ऑफ द डे बोथ ऑफ देम आर चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स. Right. Both of them are company secretaries. Both of them have cleared that particular course. It's just your time will come, your time has come. And the second part of students, I would say, who have expected failures for quite some amount of time and who are there at that failure point alone. They don't have their peers, they're already gone and they have already lost the fear of लोग क्या कहेंगे, whatever. Now they just want to focus on their own failures. Okay. So for them, देखो बेसिक चीज जब ऐसे सब्जेक्ट्स में फेल होते हैं तो सबसे रिजेक्शन ये आता है कि हमें वी हैव टू द हार्डेस्ट पार्ट इज ओपनिंग अप द बुक्स अगेन.
Yes.
How do you open up the books again? That is the
वापस से
much
फिर से
hardest
पढ़ना.
part. Yeah,
Yes,
that you
yes.
because especially for someone, see, जो लोग ने फर्स्ट 2 अटेम्प्ट देते हैं वो तो ऐसे दे देते हैं एग्जाम, सो दे आर फाइन, दे नो कि दे आर गोइंग टू फेल. पीपल हु नो दैट दे आर ऑलरेडी रेडी टू ओपन द बुक्स. बट पीपल हु हैव गिवन देयर
Best shot
100%
दिया.
efforts, and if they not clear those exams, so what goes in their mind, that I don't know how would I even look at the books, how will I even open the books.
Right.
The best advice I would tell them, take one day at a time. Take one day at a time. आपको एक रोड मैप बनाना है towards the next attempt, and you don't have to think 3-4 महीने के बाद क्या.
Right.
You take one day at a time, you make another routine also, because you already studied. आपको बस एक रिविजन फिर से करना है.
बराबर.
आप आपका रूटीन बनाओ कि in this 2 days I have to complete this particular chapter. In that 2 days I have to complete this particular chapter, and just focus on that 2 days only.
Okay.
Don't look past, मेरा फिर से क्या होगा, मेरा मतलब मुझे फिर से इतना सब मुझे फिर से पढ़ना है. आपको इतना सब नहीं पढ़ना है. आपको आज सिर्फ ये 10 पेज पढ़ना है. आपको कल सिर्फ ये आगे का एक चैप्टर करना है आपको. तो द स्ट्रेस you would feel about having, I have to, study all of it again. I have to, so वो चला जाएगा. आपको नहीं पढ़ना है कुछ, आपको बस इतने
तो ये तो वैसे
one thing at a time.
हाँ, ये जो आपने सजेशन दिया
हाँ.
ये उनके लिए जिन्होंने डिसाइड कर दिया कि मुझे भी नेक्स्ट अटेम्प्ट देना है, बट देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल जो सोचते हैं कि मैं देना ही नहीं चाहता हूँ. तो फर्स्ट फेलियर नहीं.
राइट.
ओके, तो उनके लिए क्या व्यू, आपके थॉट्स हैं?
See, again, it depends also about how many number of attempts,
I'm saying first attempt. चलो फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट दिया और नहीं जैसे सीए में मैं देखता हूँ, एफआरएम में मैं देखता हूँ, वहाँ के ऑडियंस में ज्यादा देख रहा हूँ. तो वहाँ पे कैसा होता है कि बिकॉज एग्जाम कॉस्ट इज ऑल्सो वेरी हाई, सो स्टूडेंट सोचता है कि मैं फिर से मुझे भरना है.
राइट.
एक वो प्रेशर होता है. सेकंड चीज है कि जो आप बता रहे फिर से पढ़ना, तो फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट के बाद ही मोर लेस सोचते मैं नहीं दूंगा.
हाँ, राइट. सी, अभी आपने कहा, आपने रीजंस दिए. रीजंस होते हैं. एक रीजन ये होता है कि मुझे फिर से पढ़ाई नहीं करनी है मुझे. ठीक है. तो अगर आपको फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट के बाद अगर ये रीजन आ रहा है, तो इट्स एज क्लियर यू आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट पर्टिकुलर कोर्स. इट्स एज क्लियर एज दैट. यू डोंट नीड टू डू समथिंग वेयर यू आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड.
राइट.
मनी रीजंस, एग्जाम फीस बहुत होती है, स्पेशली फॉर इंटरनेशनल कोर्सेज. It can be a genuine reason कि I have to pay so much money.
I agree.
Right? It has to be genuine reason. But I would say look at that particular reason. आपको पढ़ने में इंटरेस्ट है कि नहीं.
बराबर.
अगर आपको पढ़ने में इंटरेस्ट है, I would believe you would be able to achieve that financial hurdle. You would be able to overcome that financial hurdle somehow. Don't pay much attention to that particular financial hurdle. That is not much importance as compared to your entire career. आप करियर की बात कर रहे हो. आप 80,000 मैक्सिमम 1 लाख जो भी आपके कोर्स फी होगी, या आप दे रहे हो आपके करियर बनाने के लिए. आप 5-6 महीने में मैक्सिमम कमा लोगे, मतलब मैक्स टू मैक्स, मतलब.
राइट.
तो वो रीजन जाने दो. बट हाँ, आपको 2 अटेम्प्ट के बाद ऐसे लग रहा है कि नहीं, मुझे नहीं इंटरेस्ट है, मुझे फिर से बुक ओपन नहीं करना, तो आपके लिए कोर्स है ही नहीं. यू आर आंसरिंग दैट क्वेश्चन योरसेल्फ. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई वुड बिलीव इन, एज सिंपल एज दैट.
तो जब आपके साथ हुआ और आपने डिसाइड किया था मुझे मूव करना है, कुछ करना है, क्या आपने सोचा था कि आप फाइनेंस हेड करोगे?
नहीं, डेफिनेटली नॉट. एंड लेट मी टेल यू दिस थिंग. मेरे जो रीजंस थे, आई वॉज नॉट एबल टू स्टडी बिकॉज सच कोर्सेज, स्पेशली सीए, आप चलो ठीक है कॉलेज में पढ़ लेते हो, आर्टिकलशिप के टाइम आपको छुट्टियां मिल जाती है, पढ़ लेते हो, बट फिर आगे जाके व्हाट हैपेंड इन माय सिनेरियो, some barely I got holidays for giving my exams. And for CA exams, I would say, as for finals, you do require 10 to 15 days of holiday before you give your finals also.
Right, definitely.
Right. But
बहुत जगह आपको मिला ही नहीं.
हाँ, but company, I mean the directors, they don't understand that, they don't so it depends on their role also. So I had hard time, difficulty in studying for the exams, and I realized कि I'm not able to study. How will I able to clear these exams also? Right. So ये reason हो गया था. And but again, what was the question basically?
कि जब आपने जब आपका वो सिचुएशन हुआ, आप फेल हो गए और आप चेंज करने वाले, तो आपने क्या सोचा था कि क्या मैं किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ूंगा,
राइट
हेड बन पाऊंगा कि नहीं?
So see, during my first instinct, see, I started as a senior accountant and I rose to finance controller then and there.
बराबर.
And that point of time, how I worked it for myself, कि whatever work I was doing, I always try to improve upon it. I always try to think out of the box. How can I,
Right.
get my supervisors or managers, attention towards it. And a point of the time came when I was a senior manager actually, and my finance controller who was there, he just, had left the job, and the position was very vacant. And but मुझे 4 साल 5 साल हो चुके थे, and I was able to, because it was a when I joined the company I was only 3 years old, so I had a lot of opportunities there in a startups or new companies. आपके पास बहुत सारी opportunities होती है to bring in much more financial monitoring methods to bring in. It was a production company. I bought labor and time variance methodologies there.
Okay.
I bought AR monitoring methods there. So already I was able to impress my peers or my supervisors about it. And at the point of time when a particular vacancy was there, I was able to somehow, anyways I was doing most of the work also, and I was knowing what my friend's controller was doing also. I just convinced him for a chance to provide me a particular promotion to that particular level.
Okay.
Because एक बार क्या हो जाता है ना,
वहीं से आपकी वो ट्रेजेक्ट्री स्टार्ट हो.
हाँ, ट्रेजेक्ट्री. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस वंस यू गेट इनटू दैट पोजीशन, वो पोजीशन आपके एक बार सीवी में आ गई, अब फिर उससे नीचे नहीं जाओगे, अब वहीं से आगे बढ़ते रहोगे.
राइट.
एंड आफ्टर दैट, बट अगेन द मोस्ट, आई वुड से द मोस्ट सक्सेस फैक्टर इन माय करियर was when I was recruited as head of finance in Rico. It's a Japanese company, as I mentioned earlier. It's a very $1 trillion industry worldwide. And that point of time when I was hired as a head of finance, there was I was somehow an anomaly because they only required CAs. Somehow I was able to get the particular interview.
Okay.
And at that particular day itself, HR saw my CV and she was like, "Oh, you're not a CA." I was like, "I don't know. I mean, you invited me because you already have my CV with you."
Right.
Then she was, "Okay, fine. Let's just get it on with. You are here anyways." Because no institute or authority mandates a company to have a particular person जो CA होना चाहिए. कंपनी की पॉलिसी होती है, हाँ. So, and before me there were around 4 finance head who all were CAs.
For the interview?
No. Before me.
For that same role, okay.
Same role, because the company wanted chartered accountants only. And then I went in. There was the Japanese MD sitting there, and there's another Japanese MD sitting there. And मुझे ये था कि फिर मैंने ये मान लिया था कि होना ही नहीं है, because anyways they require CA. So I was very chill and I was very casual. जो मेरा anxiety थी, जो मेरी घबराहट थी, सब चली गई थी. Okay. So that was a very twist that particular day. And then I went there, and then I just went there confidently, and I spoke about my achievements. I spoke about my work. One thing I achieved in my life is a great interview giving skills, which is very important, which I don't teach you. आपके पास अगर डिग्री नहीं है, बट आप अगर वो रूम में पहुंच चुके हो ऑलरेडी, राइट. देखो सीवी का काम क्या होता है, आपकी जो सीवी होती है, सीवी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सीवी का काम होता है कि वो रूम तक पहुंच जाए, बस वो सीवी का काम उतना ही होता है. और आप अगर वो रूम तक पहुंच गए, फिर आपके कॉन्फिडेंस के ऊपर डिपेंड है. देयर आर सर्टन टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स हाउ टू क्रैक इंटरव्यूज. आई यूज्ड टू रीड अबाउट इट, and then I get a call, I mean around in couple of days or so, that would you be able to join also. हाँ, मेरा notice period भी I was able to provide some flexibility on it, so that was there obviously. But कहना यही है कि it's, and these people also found out कि this guy maybe has some potential. He does not have a CA degree, but he has some potential. Right. What he was doing, I ensured, like what they required, what their JD requires. I aligned my past works and efforts toward that particular JD, what they require. I was able to explain to them how can I be more efficient in this particular role. Right. Okay. And and I knew what the management requires usually, and how I can provide it to them. So these are certain skills which I believe I grasped on over time my finance career, which helped me to get that particular role, because I was nowhere near to expecting that I will receive the particular role. And let me tell you, in my team, I believe I was 3 years back, I was 28 years old, and I was the youngest in my team. And I was heading a team of 35 years old. My deputy, he was CA. They were 40 years old, they're 45, because all of them have been to the company for quite a long period of time. So that was also quite intimidating to head a team of your people who all of them are your seniors. But yeah,
Very unique experience.
yeah, it was a unique
Yeah,
experience, and it did help make my career a lot. That particular thing.
Wonderful. As per you, what are the top hottest finance careers right now there in the market?
So, see, I would nowadays, apart from the conventional roles, about senior manager or finance controller, I would talk about financial markets, which are gaining a great traction. They believe it's increasing 15% every year, the money market and capital market. So, let me give you the brief about the roles which one can pursue in finance market itself.
Okay.
Unconventional role which are coming up in our country. Uh, there would be one particular important role is private equity analyst.
Okay.
So what are private equity analysts? They work for private equity firms which like to invest in equities of private companies, uh, and at a point of time when they feel the valuation of their stocks or equities have raised or a particular prime, they just sell off this and make a good profit amount of it.
Right.
So there are people who works analyst in this particular firms. So due diligence is very important skill one needs to have for that.
Right.
And apart from private equity analyst, investment banker is another favorite nowadays of many students also.
Right.
सब अच्छा लगता है मतलब सुनने में इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकर, बट the efforts and the hard work goes onto it. It's very difficult to get into investment banking, and it's much difficult to sustain.
Right.
Because the rewards are quite high. Investment banker are the one who mediates between these private equity firms and the companies who require funds.
Right.
So they're also into mergers and acquisition and fundraising and all sorts of things.
Right.
So investment banking, another jobs. After that, we have hedge fund managers, another glorious career. But that's usually for hedge funds are usually for high net worth individuals only.
Right.
It has various high risk and high reward type of funds include there. But it's one of the hottest job market hedge fund managers I would say, because इनके compensation बहुत ही ज़्यादा होते हैं, because इनके payout are like they work on commission basis. I believe it's something around 2% of the capital plus 20% of profits, and already it's very high funded net worth individuals are playing in it. So that is also quite. इसके लिए भी आपको knowledge होना चाहिए financial modeling का, finance markets का, बहुत deep and detailed knowledge होना चाहिए. आप directly नहीं head fund managers बन सकते हो, आपको बहुत years of experience चाहिए होगा. After that you have another FP&A roles जो आ रहे हैं,
बहुत आ रहे हैं.
हाँ high, they are getting high traction now. Many global roles are coming in our country. As you can see how the finance economy is going on all over the world. So it's a great opportunity for India. Lots of अभी इंडिया में भी forecasting budgeting का जो awareness हुआ in the past decade or so, पहले नहीं था. So in that particular roles, many jobs are starting and opening up. And apart from that, as I was just mentioning, कि various roles जो बाहर थे इंडिया में आ रहे because of cost benefit purposes, as simple as that. So it's also very role that's getting a quite traction. And apart from that, you also have risk analyst role होते हैं, financial actuaries role है.
Right.
Yeah, that also requires a lot of hard work, a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge about financial markets also. So these are the major jobs I would say. They would all pay between approximately starting 6 to 10 lakhs and goes up to even 25 to 30 lakhs also.
Right.
Depending on your experience, your knowledge, your exposure to the industry. That's there, yeah.
And one success tip that you would like to give to everybody based on your experience.
So success tip, I would say what has worked for me, as whenever I have gained upon a role and I have worked on my tasks and what activities I have to do, I have always tried to find shortcuts to do it. Now what I mean by that,
Okay.
What I mean by that, I have always tried to automate my work as much as possible. I have always tried to improve the accuracy of the data which I provide.
Okay.
I would say be lazy. ज़्यादा मेहनत but smart. बी
Okay.
स्मार्ट एंड लेजी. लेजी इसके लिए आप मतलब ऑलवेज एम कि आपका काम कैसे कम हो सकता है. यू कैन हाउ कैन यू शॉर्टन योर वर्कलोड बाय ऑटोमेटिंग वेरियस थिंग्स. मैकेनिकल वर्क्स को हटा दो. 80% एक्सेस आप यूज करते हो, ट्राई टू रिमूव इट एज मच एज पॉसिबल. गेट इन टू ए आई नाउ डेज. ट्राई टू इंटीग्रेट ए आई इन योर वर्क. या तो आप टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन हो जाओ या तो ऑब्सोलीट हो जाओगे आप, नहीं तो.
वो तो हर रोल में आ रहा है. यस.
Yes. So that is a very unorthodox, I would say, success tip I would be lazy but be smart.
Right.
Hard work आप करो. Hard work is important in the very beginning of your years, but after getting certain exposure, smart work you will realize much more important than hard work, and that is how you will climb your ladders of success. Because at the point of the time you need to understand what is required of you and how you can be at your best and provide the management or any stakeholders the best services you can.
Wonderful. I mean, thank you, वेंकटेश. ये बहुत अच्छा कॉन्वर्सेशन था. स्पेशली जो आपने अपना जो एक्सपीरियंस बताया जो सीए के बाद जो वाला था, वो मोटिवेट लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स एंड योर एक्सपीरियंस इन योर इंडस्ट्री आल्सो. सो अगेन थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.